Okay.
Hello. Oh, wait, second. Hello, ENTV. It's Michelle Boshard. Welcome to the Natural Success Clinic. This is where we diagnose the limiting factors to the amazing online offers of entrepreneurs here in this group and elsewhere. And I'm your digital doula host, Michelle Boshard. I'm the natural entrepreneur, and I just love to help people make their online offers more naturally fun, naturally easy, naturally authentic. So today on Natural Success Clinic, I'm so excited. We're going to break down and analyze the offer ecosystem of a great guy, Mike Ash from Durable Dads. And he's out of Kamloops, BC, and he helps dads kind of live that full, complete, being the complete dad, learn to balance their dadhood, their parenthood, with their business, with their relationships, with their own personal sanity. So we're really, really lucky to have him today. But before we get to introducing him, we are going to tell you, just like every show we do, we're going to give you some stats on this entrepreneur's online business. We're going to introduce you to the entrepreneur and learn about their story and how they got into it and their hopes and dreams and goals for national success. We're going to diagnose the limiting factor. We're going to go right through their offer ecosystem, diagnose what could use some tweaking, and then we're going to recommend some remedies, but the prescriptions for those remedies are going to be in the after party in the Natural Entrepreneur Facebook group. So make sure that you stick with us for the whole show, and then pop on over for some actual coaching and live Q&A on the actual prescriptions for the diagnoses we arrive at today here on the show. So it's natural selection time. I want you guys to just even hearing about this, tell me what you think about the offer. I'm going to bring up a picture here of and give you some stats on the offer that we're looking at today. So let's pull this up. And here we go. I'm going to zoom on in. I'm really stoked about this because, and full disclosure, Mike has worked with me in my co-creator program at the Natural Entrepreneur, where we take you through a process of harmonizing your tech and your offers and your offer ecosystem with to make your business function and scale better. And I'm just going to zoom right in here. So guys, today we're looking at someone who has been in this field for 4 years, doing the online part of it just for one. And Mike loves to build, support, and connect dads in business, provides things like focus groups, networking and support, business referrals, community, and advice for the complete and connected dad in business. So I've had the pleasure of seeing some of his work. He's got all sorts of great offers. We can get into those in a minute, but Mike's superpowers are totally his relatability. I've known Mike for quite some time, and yeah, he's a real connector. So he just is able to understand you, put things in a real relatable way, and really is frankly no BS. So you're gonna love him, and he works with dadpreneurs, usually 25 to 45-year-old males, new dads who, they've had their life all sorts of shifted with having kids and, wanting to be the best that they can be as a dad, as a partner, as a businessman. They're seeking balance and accountability, usually within the $50,000 to $150,000 income range. He serves them worldwide, but he actually does in-person geographical services we'll talk about in Western Canada. But really, the people he wants to serve are feeling a little bit disorganized, a little overwhelmed, don't really have a plan, need to find some balance and a path forward, want to be complete as a guy, a dad, a boss, partner. So when Mike and I started working together, I got to say he had a whole bunch of socials and tech that was costing him way more than he needed to. And I worked with him to get his, he had Wix and Mighty Networks and Facebook and YouTube, and was paying more than he needed to support and grow his offer ecosystem. And he was also limited in growing his offer ecosystem. So we've got him all coordinated now, and then also he has room to expand, and he has added on significantly since then. Now all he needs is Zoom and the S3 CRM software that we use. He can be found on Facebook and YouTube primarily. He's got some other ones, but those are his main ones. So I'm just gonna like introduce you to him now, and we'll say, hey, Mike, how you doing? I'm going to ask you to come on camera. Can you see me? Where are you?
You're going to have to let me in.
I'm going to ask you to start your video. There he is.
Start my video. Hi, everybody. Hey, ENTV. So
how you doing today? It's Kamloops has got to be a hot cooker today.
It's a little bit ridiculous. I don't want to talk about it. And I don't want to try and have to do Celsius to Fahrenheit for all the, it's hot.
Well, I know it was 41 Celsius, which is like 110 Fahrenheit there the other day. So we'll just leave it at that. It's been pretty hot up here for us Canadians. That's pretty hot. So Mike, I just want you to give us a little bit about your story about how you became a natural entrepreneur. How did you get into the online side of things and why you do what you do? So I'll just start the timer. You can have at us for a little bit.
I have 3 whole minutes. Okay, let's try and condense it. So basically I had a work injury and I decided there was something a little bit different that was needed. I was a lone parent. So for those of you not familiar, that's a lack of family support, lack of partner being in town. I had my daughter and oldest stepdaughter full-time. And I decided that always left an indelible mark on me, the lack of services that were tailored for dads. So that took a different direction when I injured myself. I was like, what am I going to do now? So I helped to co-found a charity working around dads in crisis. But there was a difference in opinion, and I wanted to do something a little bit different because humans evolve. We maybe come out of our crisis area and we reach a spot in our evolution as people and as dads. It's like, okay, what are we going to do next? How do I build my crew? How do I rebuild my life and stay connected and balanced? So I came up with and during my charity time, there was during COVID, and the whole idea for virtual services, we were an essential service, but the whole idea of a virtual service was always in the back of my mind, and my business partner didn't want to take it in that direction. So once I left my previous enterprise, I came to this as Durable Dads, and it's gone through a couple of evolutions, but really it's a lot has to do with my own personal story, my struggles as a parent, as a breadwinner, as pretty much everything, and also trying to balance having a life, but also, you know, trying to build friends and build a network. And it was my act of creating the charity and all of that really clued me in. And then when I reached this spot where I am now, it kind of all came together. Like I said, there's been a few changes in focus since I started this crazy enterprise about a year ago. But I'm really happy with how I've been able to express myself and the services I bring to dads. And like I said, I've walked the walk and I talk the talk, and I know what's out there and what isn't. I also know that dads are a particular lot and a little hard to get to come together, but I know what the magic happens when they have a supportive community. Okay, I've got 21 seconds left.
No, we're gonna keep talking, so that's all good. Don't worry about that too much. Thanks for sharing that, because I really, you know, as a special needs mom, I know the struggle for resources as a mom, but and the systems are limited in that. So when you're out on your own as a dad and, oh yeah, he's dad, he's all good, right? There's just not much out there for folks. And I really appreciate, you know, what you do to like support the logistics of everyday life for dads and help them connect and get what they need. So thanks for being you. You're awesome. But I want to know why. Well, I know why it would be important to me as a parent, but and I see why it was important to you to evolve through this. But when we do an online offer, we bring that piece of our path of what we want to do and why we're passionate about it and our skills and all that sort of thing. And we meet our clients in their point of need and their their need for transformation, and we kind of match those two things up to create a business. And so when you serve your clients, though, I want to know not just why you formed the business, but I want to know like what you get out of it. Like, what satisfaction do you get out of helping guys like this? Like, what are you getting out of this? Like, what drives you? When you are down, and or maybe it's not going so fast, or you're frustrated with the tech, or whatever, what is it that keeps you going?
The social aspect of things, 100%. That's why it's built as a community, because in a way it's my getting my needs met by proxy, because I'm out talking to a different dad, or I'm at a different event and I'm scoping it out because dads might be interested in it. And it's those connections I'm forging for myself. I mean, dads are pretty good, especially business people are really good at making that whole host of acquaintances, right? We have those business card, or those people. I know Jerry, let's have a talk with him. He can make that happen a little faster. But also being able to step beyond that can also be difficult. So it's helping to create that forum too. So whatever, I don't ask anybody to do anything I wouldn't do myself. So the whole idea is I don't try to create something that I wouldn't feel confident and happy using myself.
Yeah, okay. So when you've got them together, what do you think is important about community? Why did you build your business around forming a community? What is the underlying important factor that's missing, that you felt that you needed to do this to fill that gap?
Because really you just throw people together, and it's the whole idea of social mingling, right? Or networking events. You throw them together, pardon me, you try to get people of like-minded, birds of a feather, and that's where the magic happens. I mean, when you kind of divorce yourself from your own ego as a coach, especially, you realize that it's them doing all the work, not you. You're just helping to facilitate that process. So creating a community where you're like-minded, you're feeling a little more comfortable, but you have a really valid excuse to be there. Oh, hey, I'm doing business. Right. And then, but also people that have the same shared lived experience with you. Having facilitated dad group in the past, I know what that can do. And I've seen the magic that happens when you just put them together, and right.
So they really kind of come together and help each other. And a lot of the times you're kind of bringing in the guy who's kind of on the outskirts, who is maybe a little bit more lost. And there's a little bit a sense of teamwork where they don't know exactly, and I don't know, women tend to be more, and they talk about things all the time. Guys tend to, maybe I'm overgeneralizing, but guys kind of tend to keep that to yourself, to have kind of like a bro community that you can like trust to figure out how to put your hat on, like what to do in each role that you have as men, because men have a lot of different roles, just like women do. So I wanted to ask the audience, though, you guys, and I just to shout out David and Diana. Thanks for watching. Sheila, Stacy, good to see you guys. Hi, John. And John says, I really admire that you show up constantly as a dad. Yeah, yay dads, right? And I feel like that doesn't get cheerleaded enough. And it's because the critic, we don't want, sometimes you might not want to step out and get criticized, right? So I wanted to ask some of the dads in the audience, do you guys feel like you have, what hat to put on at what time, and how to play each of their roles? How is the balancing going? Like, tell Mike in the comments so that he can catch up with you later. What's the most challenging thing about balancing being a partner and a father and a businessman, and keeping your own sense of identity as well? So that would be great. Okay, so guys, now we know a little bit more about Mike. I wanted to get into talking about online offers generally, but as you know, here we always take a look at sort of like the 5 key core components, whether it's got a strong and compelling why, whether it's got a clear offer system, whether the marketing is authentic and genuine, and whether there's consistent sales, that's 4, and whether we've got, you know, sort of impeccable delivery and valuable service that's being delivered. So we're going to take a look at each of these, but before we do that, I want to hear from Mike where you want to go with your business, because we're going to define success, and then we're going to see what's limiting you from it. So what are your what's your top goal for the next 3 months, 6 months, year for your business? What are you trying to do? What do you want to get done? What do you want to see in terms of measurables?
I think a decent subscriber base, and also a decent, I call it the database, and that's that network of businesses that are interesting to the other dads, and it's helping to reach that audience, especially if you're online and can ship. That's extra handy too. Having the exposure out there, not just for myself, but for my members as well. That's really the point of networking. So really it's a numbers game at this point. The numbers also help to create the vibrancy and get the juices flowing too. So in the next 3-6 months, I mean, it's the run to like 100 paid subscribers, right?
Okay.
So,
all right, and don't be an armchair quarterback here, guys. Ask Mike any questions that you want to about what he does. We're going to get into his offer ecosystem here pretty soon. For those of you who might not have heard the term, if maybe you're seeing this for the first time, offer ecosystem of the natural entrepreneur. So I always think of things in terms of nature. I'm a biologist by formal training, but I feel like business is should feel natural to us, but it's also a system. And right now we have kind of a business system that's kind of got a corporate monoculture, and people bringing their passion-based businesses is like diversifying the ecosystem, the business ecosystem, with our online offers. So online offers are not just, you know, getting on the Zoom with somebody and delivering your service. That's doing business online for sure. But an online offers ecosystem is a combination of all sorts of pieces that work together like a system, much like, you know, water, soil, plant, insect, animal, all of those things all work together in a natural ecosystem. And for those of the, you know, that might seem a little too tree huggery for, I can put it in guy talk and talk about cars, like car engines. When you have a car engine, you have all the different parts. Each part functions on its own, but they work together in a system, and then you need gas for the car and you're driving where you want to go. So we're going to take a look at Mike's offer ecosystem, think about where he's trying to drive to, getting more subscribers and more exposure for his network participants. So Mike, what I'm hearing is that when it comes down to it, and we'll probably get into this in a little bit, sales is sort of one of the pieces to be able to actually populate your ecosystem that would be helpful for you to do. Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so let's go through here. I put a little bit of in just to help prime it, but before we even start, let's talk about how the guys who come to you feel when they start with you, because I think it's important that we talk about what the transformation that you provide as a business to clients are. So if you get a guy, what's the most common kind of not emotional profile, but what are they looking for? Are they feeling confused? You said they're overwhelmed, they're unbalanced. What's going on for them when they come to you?
Finding the space to organize this, really, I'm creating an organizational system that's very natural, right? That actually dovetails into being a dad. I mean, you hear a whole myriad. I mean, it's nothing new. There's lots of organization, how to structure your life, but doing it through the lens of a dad who understands that the work-life balance is BS, really.
So they're feeling like they're out of balance. What are they
Absolutely,
feeling?
that they don't necessarily have it all together.
Okay.
And all just running smoothly, right? So
Okay.
their systems are not as smooth as they could be, or they're just taking their resources, one chunk of resources, and allocating it to whatever fire's going on at the time, flying by the seat of your pants instead of being proactive and just distributing what you got and still having something left for you at the end of the day.
Okay, so they don't have a plan. So they feel out of balance, they feel a plan. They're not necessarily in crisis, but they're not excelling where they want to be? So they're feeling like they're missing something? What are they
They're
feeling?
cloudy. They're not concise, right? I mean, you want to have things nailed down. So that little bit of like muddy waters, and it also really helps to have other, cross mentorship is really important, especially in business. So having other dads, other dudes that have been through it and get it, being able to, chime in too is super important.
So they might feel a little isolated and unconfident. Am I hearing that right?
It could be. I wouldn't say
okay.
I'm confident. You're confident
Okay.
because you're going to make it happen. But the thing is, you're not entirely as clear as you could be. You don't feel
And
like
so
you've got it
mentorship.
nailed down.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. So when they're done with you and or when they're in the community and they're absorbing your services, where are they at then? Like after they've gotten the transformation that you're offering as a service, we need to make sure that transaction for that sale that you want to make has value. So when they end, they come out of feeling unbalanced and flying by their seat of pants and cloudy and isolated, and they feel what?
Okay, well, I don't want them to end. It's a subscription community. Right? So I want you to be just a little bit screwed up. No. when they finish, basically you have a working plan that can evolve, right? It has enough space to be able to take some of the left turns you're going to have in life and the curveballs. And then you have a place to turn, not necessarily for being in crisis, but getting a little bit of advice from the old crusties that, like myself, that are in there. Not only as a dad, how would you handle it as a dad? So basically, I want them to be able to feel like at any time they can say, okay, here's a business idea. What do you guys think? And get it trashed on, or a little bit of encouragement, or to be like, how would you handle this? So so in turn, they have a plan, a viable one that can be altered and added to, and also a little bit of a support group going forward too. It's just the icing on the cake, really.
Okay, great. So they feel, they've got it basically back together. They've got it balanced. They know where they're going. They can dig in, and then they've got the guys there to kind of like cheer and also pat on the back, and also lend ideas and tools and that sort of thing.
Right, and you're part of a business community too, right? So you've expanded your network and hopefully your customer base as well. So.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this really is not just for your personal side of life. This is for your business growth and being a complete dad in terms of a dadpreneur. Okay, so let's take a look at what you have as your Costco samples, I call them. Like, what do you give out free? So I know that you have your Facebook group, and I'll show that actually in a bit. But you do some other stuff too here. You've got some stuff ongoing, and then you still got some plans coming up. Why don't you tell us about your Between Two Dads?
Okay, Between Two Dadpreneurs is basically a one-on-one, about an hour long is generally what they turn out to be. It's a podcast, and it examines you as a business dad, how you got there, what your motivations for being a dad in business, how you balance being a dad and your business, and what you do at the same time. I mean, it's really just that conversation on a very personal level. It's designed to highlight your business, but it's also designed to highlight your personal journey as a dad.
Okay. And then you've got the YouTube channel, and what's on there?
Here's my advice, my little 2 cents on things, right? And really kind of small bite-sized reviews of businesses, both locally and away, events and activities that are dad friendly, and just that's essentially what it is. And I'm going to highlight stuff that I think is interesting to dads. I just did a gym and rock show in Kelowna. That was cool. So I got to talk to another YouTuber and just kind of highlight some of those entrepreneurs and stuff that would appeal to you as dads, and something you could think about taking your kids to. That's a little bit B-roll instead of the big thing events, right?
Right. Okay. So really, and I'm going to skip up here because we've got, you've got your Facebook, you've got your podcast, your interviews, your Facebook, and then you're going to have a newsletter and some networking events coming up. But then you have some low ticket offers, but really when you talk about that reviewing businesses, well, that kind of interests me. So let's talk about your database, because that is where you're essentially going through and taking a look at a business from through the dad lens, and whether it serves them well and meets, kind of like, is this a place I can take my kid? Is it cost effective? Is it accessible? All of the pieces.
Right.
And then what do you do with them once you evaluate that, they get the database stamp of approval? What do you call it? Durable labs certifiable?
Certifiable, if it's certifiable. So, I mean, yeah, you're gonna get a dad-led business. That's obviously okay, just exposing the dad business, and that's pure marketing. But there's also events you can take your kids to, and they get scored. And if it's certifiable, that's going to be something that you can pay for just a review, and that gets my audience, right? But if you're part of the community, that gets something very forward facing on my website. Also get featured in the Facebook group, obviously within our community, right? So essentially, a guy's got to make a buck. So the higher up you go, the more exposure you get to all avenues of my community.
Okay. And then also that also, kind of, well, I did skip over the personal benefits. So you kind of like helping guys. I was going to explain in the beginning that as you go up and sometimes some people call this a value chain. As you go up an offer ecosystem, it should provide deepening transformation to the client along the pathway they want to go. And I can see that the guys, like you've had a kid, you're kind of getting oriented. Once you've got your game on and a plan, then you can kind of like move into that, that really active, proactive place where you're moving into your business and you're achieving things. So when you talk about, you've got the free stuff in the group and the bits of advice, really that's really important for folks that are just getting oriented in their, sort of like to their new life as a dad. And then you've got the survival guide, the master pivot and master game plan, and the subscription community. And that helps with more of the personal side of life. Is that?
Yeah, that's the not the self-help, but it's just little snippets of advice from like personal, like what are the recordings, what are the tapes I have, my long-standing beliefs, and how that's as a parent to how you're being addressed as a parent or as a business person, and how you can kind of navigate that. I mean, we as dads have a lot of different perhaps situations, parenting situations, right? So it's trying to address that and give some down home advice on that. The master game plan is, again, that's really just the course on how to set up your plan. And the master pivot plan is very much for people. I call it the master pivot plan because you know what? Maybe they decided, I'm not going to weld anymore. Screw it. And then I'm going to do something ridiculous like I'm doing. And then that's such a change. And it's like trying to guide them practically through the process. So.
Right, because one of the things I really appreciate about your stuff is that you're trying to guide guys. They may not have parents that kind of taught them things, or you're giving them pro tips for how to organize themselves, and how that what I really like is that you kind of train guys to think not just about your business as a business, but your whole family, your relationship, managing your life as a business, not maybe not your woman, but we won't go there, but maybe having a plan for your family is just as important as having a plan for your business. And so you kind of like bring those two worlds together that way in helping them get their master game plan together. So I thought that was really, really cool.
Well, they're very analogous processes, and a lot of your soft skills and your experience totally translate back and forth. I mean, obviously there's a feeling part of being parent, but you know what about the dads that, like myself, that are kind of in charge of the household, right? Or, are half-time. You have to run your own ship, and just being able to step into that role, but still understand when you need to step out. That's why hats or features so big in a lot of my work, is because knowing which hat or which role to play that's appropriate in the moment is super tough to do. And I don't nail it all the time either. Trust me. But the thing is, I mean, at least I did it the hard way. and your way might be a little bit easier. So you know what? At least let me do some of the heavy lifting for you.
Right, you're sharing that experienced perspective where you can save them the pain, emotional pain, time, and money, and give them a leg up in their business. Because then when they're in your community, so you've got different levels here where yeah, okay, they get the free, some of the folks who are in the database, you know, they pay a certain subscription level and they're in the database and they get promotion. But then you've got your elite thing where you're really working towards more integrated male bonded business community, and you're looking to develop, you know, like men hunt together, and you're looking to develop businesses that run in packs together and develop promotional partnerships together. That's sort of
That's
like
a great way of putting it. Yep. I like the primal edge to that. Yes.
well, we'll look forward to seeing it. So when we took a look at all these things you wanted to do, we kind of evaluated your tech needs, and you know, I'll show some folks the site, but before this website and stuff, we're going to be working on your marketing and how to use a client relationship management software to do marketing distribution. You do a fair bit of just naturally, you know, you're a natural marketer as it is. But we did, you know, build out, you've got course modules and a paid community container, automations for your business. So you don't, you know, like sometimes the paperwork stuff isn't so hot. So, right. So you automate that stuff and it makes it easier. And then we're going to be developing you a publicly facing website with the sort of the deluxe sort of version of the promotional partnership stuff and affiliate programs, referrals, that sort of thing. So guys, when I take a look at Mike's offer, you know, he's got a really strong why. He's motivated not only by his own needs, but also to create this sense of community in you know, relationships between men. So I give that, you know, a total thumbs up for why. His offer is actually really clear. He's got the different layers. He's got the different products for different price points. He knows what he's doing for each one. So his offer is really clear. His marketing is pretty good. I'll show you in a minute some of the YouTube and other stuff. He's already getting thousands of views, and that's great. And I know Mike's an over deliver. You know, every time he works with someone, he's always giving more and learning more, and he really kind of digs in with his clients to, you know, find out what they need and then build that in. So and I think we already heard him say that sales might be the arena. That's really okay. You built this machine, you built the car, all the parts are working. Now you need some gas, and so that's really client subscriptions is what your limiting factor is. Tell me more about, does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds right. And just getting the exposure, it's like getting the eyes on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a little bit niche, right? Or niche, right? So
Right. Okay.
being able to, we have a consumer group, dads, that aren't used to consuming in this direction, right? I would say the ladies have a longer standard tradition of consuming in this way, whereas dads kind of don't. And we're very solutions oriented. So we're going to try and take what we can at the buffet. So I'm just trying to create the buffet.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to just take a snapshot of this so that folks can see what it looks like in a bit after the session. And I want you guys to put into the chat any questions you have for Mike about any of his offers, because I know he'd be happy to jump in the comments afterwards and answer them. And he's always available both here and in the natural entrepreneur community. So I'm just going to grab a quick snapshot of this so that we can do it for later. And then I'm going to close this because I want to show you guys some of the stuff that he's done and that we built for him in the tech. So I'm going to go over here and, you know, really just kind of open up your show. Here's your stuff. Just a second. I'm going to share. Okay, just so that you can see what we built in the S3 software. Okay, his sub account in the S3 software systems that we use to build things. If my computer will let me pull it up. He's got funnels for his landing page, his networking event, his coaching, his, you know, everything that he needs. He's got his website. I'm gonna just check in here and see what his personal website, I'm just gonna close that, is, you know, that's one thing, Mike, that I did notice, that I would try and harmonize, because when people go to your Durable Dads group, they get all of the branded stuff, all of that stuff, and then they go, you know, who is this Mike guy anyway? And so the one thing that I might say is that, you know, if you can maybe harmonize your header and your stuff, that would be the only coaching piece around the marketing that I think right now, you know, on socials that I would do. You've got your socials integrated into the S3 software so that we can start to post out to all of your socials at once, if you need, and to do your content plans and that sort of thing. I know that's something that lots of people like to use. Just take a look here though. I want to take a look at your website. So this is your website. It's got sort of the introduction for you and links to all your key offers. And then for those who like to read a little bit more, it explains all of the pieces. It's looking good, and gets you a place where people can join your newsletter, opt in. And when people opt in to your community or to the newsletter or to whatever, they get collected into your software system. So you can start to, you know, build and nurture. So now that you've got the tech built, and then I just want to also show your community where you've got your you show up as your community host and ringleader, and you've got the posts with the archives, you got the database, you got the forum, you got the mematorium was one that I loved, because you keep it fun, right? It's not just all, you know, heavy duty kind of stuff. No, you know, there's being a dad is not all doom and gloom. And then this is your YouTube channel. So folks, Mike's going to drop those links in the comments. Take a look, maybe hit like and subscribe on some of those things and keep up with them that way for those of you who are interested in that. So really, when we've arrived here, we've kind of heard Mike say that he's at a place where it's really about sales now. So getting people into the community, and we're going to talk a little bit in the Natural Entrepreneur Group and at the top of the hour about, you know, how to go about that. Mike, tell me a little bit about what your common, like what you think the problem is with sales. And then we'll maybe, I'm going to challenge you a little bit with that in the coaching session in Natural Entrepreneur.
Okay, well, the thing is, I mean, it's all well and good to have something on the table. And if somebody finds a little something, they'll pick it up and have a nibble. It's really getting you to open the wallet. That's really the important part, in convincing somebody of its value. And you have to communicate that, because I mean, no matter how logical and how the pieces all think together, yeah, that would be good. But until you can almost taste the product, you're going to make that emotional step to purchase, right? It's got to resonate. And that's the last piece of it. I've got all these ingredients, and I can tell you why all those ingredients are there and how they work together. But you don't want to hear the ingredient list. You want to have the dish. So really, that for me is constructing and finding that pain point or that value, because I know the value's there. I've bent over backwards to make sure it's there. So, and I wouldn't put anything that I didn't feel confident with out there. So it's really just saying, hey, it's out there. Yes, it's valuable. I mean, what do you guys want? Like, come on.
Well, and from a business perspective, why you have an offer if you're not going to sell it, right? So, you know, you're here, you're serving from the heart, you're bringing transformation and positive benefit. You're getting good feedback and people like your stuff, but it's really just how to get people to pony up, right? So that's a common problem, and the solution may be different than you think. So we're gonna jump over into the Natural Entrepreneur Group in a bit here. We're gonna say goodbye to Mike for now, and he's gonna go get ready, and then I'll close up shop here. But Mike, thanks so much for coming and sharing and showing how showing up as a man, as a businessman, as a father, and as, you know, just a good on human looks like. So appreciate you, and I'm glad you're here. And folks, make sure you connect with Mike in the comments and let him know what you think about his offer, and if you'd like to connect. So we'll talk with you not too long at the top of the hour in the Natural Entrepreneur Group. Okay.
See you all. Thanks, Michelle. Cheers.
Bye. So guys, you know, we've done another offer ecosystem assessment where we looked at the why, at the offer, at the marketing, at the sales, at the delivery. And we talked about how all of the pieces of his offer ecosystem work together, you know, how, you know, one piece is related to other, where they show up, how the transformation for the client happens. And now we know that the diagnosis is we got to work on some sales. So we're going to pop over to the Natural Entrepreneur Group. I'll pop that link down in the comments. And let me see it. Let me just check here. I see, Darlene. Hi, Caroline. Mary, how you doing? Thanks for watching, you guys. If you have any questions about either Mike's offers or how to get on either on the show or have this done for you. So when I do offer ecosystem assessments, yeah, we can do them live here on the show. Usually that's only for ENTV Academy members or my co-creator clients. But you can win a spot and get your offer promoted here on the show by participating in the Pitch Perfect marketing statement event over in the Natural Entrepreneur Group. So it's a great little event. You get to, you know, do a video business card saying, you know, your elevator pitch of what you do and give us a little blurb about who your target audience and what your offer is. And then the people in the Natural Entrepreneur will kind of go, which marketing statement best represents the business that they're saying they are? So it's lots of fun. We do it every month, and the top prize is coming here for get a whole hour exposure and on your offer ecosystem and your products, plus some decent coaching. So if you want to do that, if you're a little camera shy, or you just want to get a really crisp, clean, you know, snapshot, your business changes over time. Maybe there's some tech evaluation that you need done. How can I be doing this better? How can I be automating? How can I be improving my business? How can I be getting out to socials more effectively? How can I be, you know, managing my sales pipeline better? How can I be, you know, creating raving clients and sizzling content? How can I be, you know, creating an online offer that transforms people's lives? So if you would like a snapshot of yours and seeing almost like a tune-up of your car, book a private offer ecosystem assessment with me. It's well worth the small fee, and it will give you a map and concrete results. Okay, this is what you're going to do, much like the coaching systems I do afterwards here. So, but it'll be customized to you and your business and what's natural for your life. Maybe you don't like to do podcasts like Mike. Maybe you'd prefer to, you know, host a sales event, or maybe you'd prefer to have another mechanism for drawing in clients and then converting them to sales. So get on the honker, go to my website, naturalentrepreneur.ca, and look for the book a call in the corner, or I'll drop the link and you can book a time with me to go. So I'm going to leave it there for today. It was fun, and hope to see you guys in the coaching session in Natural Entrepreneur. So hope you all have a great day, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Don't forget that when you're a natural entrepreneur, you're a natural success. Love you guys. Bye.